Hey crafty friends, it's Emily here today and I'm going to show you how to make this super fun fun fold card made with our horizontal pocket die, with it actually being a decorative flap instead of a pocket. And this is sort of like a tri-fold card. This was made by Nancy McClellan, so I am just inspired by her and this beautiful card design and wanted to show you how to do it yourself. First, score your paper at 6 3/8, which is between the quarter and half line, and then flip it over and score again at 5 1/4. So this whole card is going to end up being just under an A2 size card. And then we're going to score at 4 1/4, and that's it as far as the card base. So the horizontal pocket die is going to make up the other half of this card. So we have this beautiful paper in stock called Through the Woods from Catherine Pooler, and I kind of wanted to do a sort of take on like a holiday card. These colors are also very fall too. So I grabbed some of my cranberry fizz and I did some direct to paper and splatter, and then I cut out one of these really pretty pine cone pattern papers with our horizontal pocket die. And then I'm kind of going through, so I realized that my peppermint scrub and my cranberry fizz were mixed up because of the back of the ink pad. You can see the name of it. So I decided to go through again. So I was actually using peppermint scrub. So I'm doing cranberry fizz. I just wanted to show that so you can kind of see the difference. It's kind of hard to tell in video, but the peppermint scrub is a little bit lighter and more like has a pink tint to it, where the cranberry is a deeper red, and it matches a lot better, I think, with this paper. So anyway, make sure those lids are on the right ones. So now for this little baby piece, we're going to score at 2 1/8, and we're going to keep that length the same at 5 1/4. So this is the flap that's going to go on that right side that we've already created. And I'm not making any sort of frame here, like white frame. I'm making it exact to size, which I typically don't do. And I'm just using some scissors to trim off a little bit of fuzz because I need to change my blade on my Fiskars. And then for the horizontal pocket die, we're just going to cut the edges. We still want that bottom flap because the bottom flap is going to be used to adhere to our card. So it's kind of going to end up looking like that. Perfect. So now we have this base for the back of our card. And I'm trying to figure out, I really like this berry paper. It's going to end up being covered by our decorative sentiment die, so it's not going to be so busy. But that's also trimmed down to the 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that is good there in the background, and then that'll go on the flap, and then we'll have our horizontal. So let me show you how to adhere the horizontal piece. Well, first, there you go. That's what it looks like with the A2, the decorative piece, so it's not super, super busy. And yeah, that's going to look really good. So now I am just kind of going through which papers I want, but I'm going to show you now how to adhere this onto your card. It's a really cool technique. I'm just taking my tape runner and going over the tape twice, and then this is going to line up perfectly with our horizontal. You're just going to want it to line up with the top and bottom of the pocket. And then, so now you have your decorative piece, and you're going to end up gluing this part on the back onto the inside of your card. So then you're not going to see the horizontal flap. It's going to look like one cohesive card. So I think that's just a really fun technique. It's very similar to what Sabine did last week on in her video for the blog. And so here I'm just taping down my decorative frame. That looks really good. And then I'm also going to tape down my cranberry fizz. And I did add a little bit of splatter on there. I can put those pens in my description below. I know people really like those. So now I'm going to work on, I noticed that the inside is just very white and bare. So I decided to do another pocket in the cranberry fizz. And for this one, I'm able to actually just trim that bottom off because I'm just using it as a decorative piece on the inside of my card. And then I'm adding a little bit more ink. And then I actually end up using some more red, and I'm putting an adhesive sheet down here, and I'm going to cut out our For You word die. So this is our small. And then I'm going to place this down on this is from our decorative sentiment die. This is the larger of the smaller bits, I guess, of the banners. So the For You fits on there quite wonderfully. So I have that set up for the front of my card. And then I'm just going to go through and glue my whole horizontal piece down. So I'm adding a little bit of glue onto those, obviously the scallops, so that it'll all fit on there and be really nice and secure. I'm just kind of making it pushing the glue down so it's not too bubbly or gets too wet and warps or anything like that. And then I did apply a little bit of tape. I also ended up trimming my horizontal pocket die at the bottom by a little bit, just so that when it folded down it wouldn't get you know how it would get like a little bit butted up at the fold. So this way it can fold really easily and it's not overlapping on the front of the card. I decided then to use the pine cone decorative piece on the other side because it's kind of like red, red, the pine cone, like opposite sides. I have this strip, it's about a 1/2 inch thick, and you just want a really long piece that you can just literally fold over your card. This is how we're going to make that strap or the belt. And I end up trimming this down because what I'm going to do is actually put my For You decorative piece on where it meets, so you don't even see that so it just looks like one piece. So now just making sure it slips in and like in and out really easily. And now I'm gonna add a couple of thin 3D foam squares. These are my favorite for just a little bit of lift. And this card is basically done. And look at this, how beautiful. I love this paper and these colors. I typically don't love red, but we have this really beautiful pattern paper that goes with it, and then the belt comes off really easily. There's our horizontal pocket. How beautiful. You could even put a stamp in here at the top, like the It's Christmas, and you can write your sentiments. This is a really nice card for someone for the holidays, and I can't wait to give it away. I hope you try this one out. Thanks so much for watching.